What? What do you mean I can't ride in my favorite truck anymore? I'll be in me bunker. Ugh.
Boss, that's 'cause you're too fat.
What? Ugh. Kids these days, I tell ya.
Wog! Welcome back to The Red Ones Go Faster. I am Old Big Mech, and today Games Workshop dropped a stealth errata, and indeed, Ghaz can no longer ride in a truck. Now, before we get too deep into it, yes, it really was a stealth errata. What happened is this morning, people noticed that there was an update on the official Warhammer 40,000 app, which, by the way, if you don't have it, it is extremely good. It's better than Battlescribe right now, and you can actually track your games on it. And right now, everything is free. It keeps giving you warnings that it might not always be free. But I think what that means is they're going to start putting certain books behind paywalls, but not necessarily the whole app. So if you don't have it, you should definitely check it out. But I digress. What happened is the app got updated. And when people downloaded the update, they noticed that a bunch of things had changed, specifically with the data cards. A little while later, meaning like a few hours, the Warhammer community Facebook page released this document. This is the index cards version 1.2. And now this is super interesting because you cannot find this document on the actual Warhammer community website without having the link. If you just go straight to downloads, it's not there. So the only way you would know about this is if you actually follow them on Facebook, or have seen the link for it somewhere after somebody noticed the app going. Now, what they did is they made a bunch of changes in red, and they say that this is just an amendment to the index cards, but there are a bunch of nerfs and a bunch of buffs in here. So let's get into it. The first one you're going to notice here is in the Eldar, the Autarch finally got all of his weapon options. That was kind of one of the biggies that the Eldar players were complaining about, is that the Autarch, which there's two different official models for, you can't actually build what is literally on the cover art because they forgot so much of it. So they did get all of this in here finally. I'm being told that you still can't do it 100% of the way, but it's definitely getting there, getting all of these things in there. They also did a couple of nerfs on the Eldari and a couple of buffs. So they got the Void Reavers back up where you can have them in your force, which is nice and is a buff. They actually fixed all these ones that were missing close combat weapons and things of that nature. However, they did nerf the Wraith Guard. So right here where it says delete the final sentence of this ability, that means that they no longer have the pistols. So when the Wraith Guard are doing their crazy thing, they can't do it in combat anymore, which is actually a huge nerf to them. Overall, though, Eldar actually turned out okay. Despite the nerf, Wraith Guard are still amazing, and again, they fixed a lot of their issues, so the Eldar players on a whole are actually not too salty. Imperial Guard, on the other hand, also got a mixed bag. So first of all, they did fix the Death Core of Krieg, so we are missing the Voxcaster model having a lasgun, and this right here should actually be red. They had missed that before. You couldn't take the Metapack Trooper. So now the Death Core of Krieg are fixed. We also got Regiment added back into Casterkin, and they fixed a bunch of other things that were indeed wrong with the Astra Militarum. I don't think any of it actually nerfed anything. I think it was just getting it to where they really did mean for it to be. Space Marines got a whole load of changes. So first of all, they did figure out that they were missing Dreadnought from almost every single index card that was a Dreadnought in all of the different sub-factions. They also fixed ridiculous oversights, such as like High Marshal Helbrecht not having Chapter Master. So a lot of the changes are literally to bring things in line with other data cards, so such as the grav pistol damage being 2 in some of these different things, power weapon strengths, making sure that you had bullet points here, making sure that there's the pistols going on. Again, is a whole lot of errata on the Space Marines. Of course, one of the biggest things was that the Assault Squad was missing its close combat weapons, so it was nice to get that fixed. Death Guard also got a fair number of changes. So you can see pistol was missing from a lot of things, so they added pistol back in. They changed putrescent vitality to at the start of the fight phase and then roll 1d6. You also have a couple of different changes on some of the special rules. I don't know if it's actually going to help them out any, but it is a welcome change because Death Guard are absolutely wallowing at the bottom. Gene Stealer cults got walloped here, so no more unlimited coming back to life, basically. So now you get just the one refresh here on the cult ambush, which is really how they intended it to be, so it's not that bad of a deal, but it does come back identical to your destroyed unit, which is interesting because this means that any enhancements that you've given the unit are going to come back as well. So this is actually pretty good for them. They also clarified the aircraft, the setup here.
My boy, look what they did to my boy.
And now the big one, the one that we pretty much started the trend on, and that is Ghaz can no longer ride in a truck. Now, again, for all of you neckbeards like me that haven't quite figured it out yet, the point wasn't to be one of those guys, right? The point was Games Workshop didn't do a very good job on the index cards, specifically for the Orcs, and we found a ton of loopholes in literally the first hour, right? And I mean, you wouldn't want to take Ghazghul in a truck anyway. That's a terrible idea. They're super easy to blow up. You could shine an Imperial Guard flashlight at it and it's going to explode. But the point was that they didn't actually make sure you could do it. So again, that's not the point. The point was they didn't put his transport restriction on Ghazghul's actual data card, and it's caused a lot of issues. Now, they've attempted to fix that now. They've said he can't ride in the Gorkanaut. They said he can't ride in the Morkanaut. Now they've said that he can't ride in the truck. However, he still fits in a boss bunka. Now, again, do you actually want to do that? No. Frankly, the boss bunka is terrible, and unless you're playing some sort of narrative game, it really isn't worth bringing. And why would you stick Ghaz in it? The point is, they didn't put it on the datasheet. So once again, there is a unit that Ghazghul Thraka takes 2 slots on, and that's it, because it is 2 infantry models, a Ghazghul and a Makari. Outside of that, there's still a bunch of questions about whether or not Ghaz actually fits in these vehicles, and I'm going to explain it. So as you see here in the truck section, it now says that it cannot transport Ghazghul Thraka. Now, when you look at the ones that he can ride in, such as the battle wagon, it says that he takes up the space of 16 models. The problem with that being is it says Ghazghul Thraka model, not unit. So, sorry. It says Ghazghul Thraka. It doesn't specify model or unit like this one does. So, what that means is there's some ambiguity there. Do they mean Ghazghul Thraka the keyword? Ghazghul Thraka the unit? Let me explain. If for some really dumb, admittedly, but if for some reason you decided to put all the wounds on Ghazghul instead of Makari, and Ghazghul was, defeated and dead, and Makari was still alive, technically Makari has the Ghazghul Thraka keyword. That means Makari now still takes up 16 slots. Or does that mean that each of them take up 16 slots apiece, and now you're riding around with 38 slots? Or does it mean, like, the whole unit takes up 16? Or does it mean Ghaz takes 16 and Makari takes 1? We don't know that. And the whole point we've been trying to make on this channel since they released data cards is that is something you should put on Ghazghul's data card. You should just put it on Ghazghul's data card. Under the unit composition, this unit contains 1 Ghazghul Thraka who takes up 14 seats or whatever, and 1 Makari who takes up 1 slot. That's all you got to do, and then you don't have to do anything to any of the other data cards. But for some reason, Games Workshop refuses to do that. So here we are. They've done a shadow nerf here, and Ghaz can still go in something stupid like a Big Ed Boss Bunka. Now, that's not the only thing that they changed on the Orc cards. Again, specifically, we called out within the first hour of the data cards coming out that Mega Knobs were lacking the Mega Armor keyword, along with everybody else with Mega Armor. That has now been fixed. They all now have that. Now, You still don't have, 100% on all the transports. There's a couple of the like Forge World units and the Legend stuff that like don't necessarily say the two space thing. Again, why not put that on the actual data sheet of the model? So everything with mega armor on it should just say in the data sheet takes up 2 slots. Easy peasy. Instead, they got to put it on every single transport, and that's just going to get crazy. Especially when I think the Space Marine Codex comes out, right? And you're going to be looking at regular armor, Gravis armor, Terminator armor, possible like less space for scouts if they bring scouts back or anything like neophytes. There's going to be a lot of mixed armors, a lot of mixed sizes, and there are a million Space Marine transports. You've got rhinos and razorbacks and inceptors and preceptors and who the heck even knows, let alone all the stuff from Horus Heresy and Imperial armor. Why you do this? Games Workshop, you make no sense. All that jazz out of the way, the Orcs actually got a shadow buff for how you actually would use them in a lot of places, and a nerf in one. So here they are. So the big buff being all of the big shooters have gone back up to 36-inch range when they are twin linked. So hello, Babas. Also, the Death Killer War Trike there has character now. This is a big deal because the War Trike couldn't actually lead the unit of bikes or take any enhancements. So this really needed to be fixed. That was a huge oversight. Now, here comes the nerf, the Gretchen. Now, this one actually surprises me because Games Workshop was so adamant about that the runt herd toughness was 2 on ranged attacks only, and then they errated it once to clarify that it was still ranged attacks only. So we all thought that literally meant that Grots were toughness 5 in combat. I don't know why they would be toughness 5, but like it seemed like that was the intention. Suddenly now this has changed to all attacks, completely nerfing the Grots. Now there's really no reason to take more than 1 unit of these. The tar pit is gone. Apparently it was too strong in the Tacoma Open, and that is now out. So sorry, Grots. And finally, the Tau also got a bunch of updates that really need to be done, such as the AP-1s that were missing from a lot of the burst cannons, and the stealth battle suit getting fixed. Obviously, there were a bunch of other little minor ones too, World Eaters, Tyranids. Everybody kind of got something, but that's kind of the overview of the nerfs and buffs. So, all that being said, what is the point of all of this? I think the point is, Games Workshop came out with this game. It wasn't quite fully polished yet, and that's okay. There's going to be teething issues with every release, no matter what. You can't catch everything. And, having 100,000 of us or 1 million of us or however many people play Warhammer these days, looking at all the rules at the same time, we're going to discover things a lot faster than their development team is going to. Okay, so I'm not like trying to bad talk. The thing that worries me is they've said that the app is the be-all, end-all of everything, right? But if you're going to update the app and release an errata, but not actually tell anybody about it, that's going to cause problems. One thing that was noticed is that the app, as of the time of this recording, that may have changed by the time it actually gets posted, but as of the time of the recording, the app was updated on the Google Play Store, but not in the Apple Store. So if you have the app on an iPhone, Ghaz can still ride in a truck. If you have the app on an Android, he's stuck in the boss bunker, right? So now you've got this weird conundrum where you've got 2 different sets of rules going on at the same time. And again, no big announcement on Warhammer Community, no like acknowledgement that, hey, this is more than just an errata. We are literally changing the rules on a bunch of units. And that's really what I'd like to see, is a mea culpa on that, and that actually coming back out and being like, hey, just announce it. Say it. Hey, we're changing some rules. We're doing an update. Here's our update. Here's the things that are changing and why. All they got to do. So hopefully they get with the program on that moving forward, because I do enjoy having the app as a way to move forward than, data cards and indexes and codexes. I think those are clunky. I really like having the app. I really like having it on my phone, being able to just have the rules of what I literally have on the table. I don't need to carry around the rules for all the other units that I'm not using. Right? Anyways, that's our review of everything that happened today. If you got any questions, comments, throw them down in the comment section below. I interact with everybody all the time. I love to hear your comments, your thoughts on things. Let me know if I missed any of the rules changes that are bigger. I don't play every army, obviously, so I'm not familiar with everything. And yeah, let's have a great conversation about this. And also, just a reminder, we do have memberships to the channel now. If you want to check those out, I'll have a link in the description below. So until next time, I'm Old Big Mech. This is Dread Ones Go Faster, and WOG!